How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Mutant Experience podcast. We're still alive. Tonight, my special guest, none other than El Presidente, the president of Third Strike, Ahmed. How's it going, man?
Good. How you doing?
Dude, I know we've been trying to get this podcast done
For a
for
while.
quite some time, but I'm glad we waited. It's like fine wine, you know what I'm saying? Because if we had done it earlier, it wouldn't have been as hype as I think tonight's podcast is going to be.
You're right.
Because there's going to be a lot to talk about. And so, before we start anything, man, first question. How did you get the nickname The President? Because, not hating, like, I sure as hell didn't vote for you. I didn't know when this election happened. I don't know how you became president. More like dictator or sultan or something. But how did the president nickname come about?
It was Frankie. Frankie gave me the nickname.
Was it Frankie who gave you the president nickname?
It was at NEC.
Was it NEC? Which NEC?
NEC. It was our first NEC we went to when we all went.
Which one?
I think it was
the one when Doylestown brought the cab? No, you guys went to an NEC before that, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about that NEC, because I didn't go to that NEC.
Wait, which one? The one before?
Yeah, the one before we did the whole, like, when Eggy beat EXO?
Oh yeah. Well, that was my first time, like first major, first everything.
Wait. So you never went to NEC before that?
No, that was the first one.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about NEC, man. NEC, what year was that? 2009?
2009 or 10, yeah. I think 2009.
So before we get into it, guys, obviously Ahmed's been on House of Strikes before. Me and Ahmed know each other quite well, so we're probably just gonna, kind of shoot the shit, sort of, just kind of talk. It might not resemble much of a traditional interview. But if you guys in the chat have any specific questions for Ahmed, obviously, before we get going, let's go ahead and introduce you properly. So Ahmed is a New York City-based Third Strike player. You've been playing for maybe 10 years now, I think.
Yeah, a little over.
Very strong tournament player. Chun Main also uses Ken, and Ahmed is fresh off an amazing run that he had at Defend the North.
Thank you.
Where you were able to squeeze into the 16-person Jazzy finale through the last chance qualifiers.
Yeah.
For those of you who either watched the last chance qualifiers or were there and competed in it, that was no joke.
Yeah, those brackets were stacked.
That was no joke.
Stacked.
And so, don't worry, guys. We'll talk about the Jazzy Last Chance qualifier in DTN in due time. But that's Ahmed. And so, story time. Let's get right to it, man.
All right,
NEC 2009, dude. Was that 2009?
I think it was 2009. Yeah, my first one. We went and it was like a bunch of us: Damon, Green Tea, Adam, Frankie. Who else? Nika.
Rage was there.
Yeah, Rage. Like basically the whole CF crew.
Yeah.
And I went and it's like shitload of people. I'm like, oh shit, so this is what a major is?
So let's set it up for the people, guys. So NEC 2009. I think it was 2009. So Fran says it's 2010, but I'm pretty sure it was 2009.
The cabs
were 2009.
So it was 2000.
Yeah,
no. Actually, the cabs was 2010.
No. Cabs were 2009. 2010, we ran it back with the New York versus East Coast. 2011 was the first Fight Club.
No, we did two New York versus East Coast.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
So it was 2010.
Was it 2010?
Yeah.
The 2011.
We did another East Coast versus West Coast.
Oh, man. I'm trying to remember. Now my
or East Coast versus New York we did.
When was the first Fight Club? The first Fight Club was 2013.
Yeah.
Was it?
2000.
No, 2014. 2000. See, we're getting old, guys. We don't even know the dates.
Yeah.
So first Fight Club was 2014. NEC 2014. Remember, we didn't record nothing. Well, we didn't stream anything, but we recorded. You weren't there.
I seen it though.
Frankie and Nika, and then EXO and Hellgen.
I seen that.
Right. So that's 2014.
With Shotokan, Ken and Black.
Yeah.
The money match.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen all the videos.
So that's 2014. The year before that was something else. Like we were playing on like 30th, I think.
Yeah, friend is right. It's 2010.
Okay, 2010. Okay, so NEC 2010. Flair, Therapist, and Diaper Bomb. Shout out to the Doylestown crew. They decided it would be a cool idea to bring the cab to NEC
Yeah, that was sick.
2010.
That changed everything.
And they put the cab. I remember they put the cab in this like room. Shout outs to Big E, first and foremost. Third Strike is making its return, by the way, to NEC this year.
That's sick.
Jazzy auto qualifier at NEC where it belongs. Right? Shout outs. I know it's like the day after Thanksgiving. Did you know that? It's the day after Thanksgiving.
I didn't even know.
NEC is crazy, right?
So that's like Black Friday.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, that's right. So 2010 NEC. Shout outs to Big E. The Doylestown group brought the cab. They put it in a tiny room.
That was
right?
sick. That was hype.
And remember that room was packed.
Yeah,
that room was
people
lit.
were out the door watching.
Oh
it was
my
crazy.
god!
People were standing on chairs. It was OD.
Yeah. All right. So keep going. So
2009. So
2010.
Oh, 2010 we're talking about?
Yeah.
With the cabs?
Yeah, with the cabs. But your first one was 2009.
Yeah.
So what happened in 2009?
I was 2 matches away from top 8.
Oh, okay.
But because it was like a setup,
and
the TVs were like this small. I was like, can't be mad.
Oh, okay.
And me, I used to play a CF a lot. You know that.
Yeah, that was that that the one that Gutex went to 2009 NEC Third Strike, or was that 2008?
No, that was 2008.
That was 2008.
2009. Who won?
Probably Justin.
Justin won.
Maybe.
No. Was it? Yeah, it was Justin, but EXO almost beat him. That's what I remember.
Okay.
That's how I seen it.
Okay. So if you guys, I don't know if there was videos of it though.
Maybe, I don't know.
You guys were still playing on PS2 by then.
Yeah, PS2.
Yeah.
That's why.
PS2 was never that bad. I mean, I never thought.
No,
it was
but it's
that
like
bad.
the TVs are like.
Yeah. But the port though, I mean, it was a little fast, but like I thought it was a pretty good port. PS2.
Yeah.
Anyway, so 2010, that's the really lit.
That's when I got hot.
That was the lit Third Strike NEC.
That was the hype was.
So they brought the cab, and so there were singles and teams. That's also kind of like Chris G's coming out party. Remember?
And
like
singles.
Chris, not many people really knew about Chris G. I think it was the Third Strike crew that convinced him to go, right?
Yeah, we kept telling him go, and he was like, "Oh, I don't want to travel.
I don't want to take no credit
go.
for Chris G's career. Shout outs to Chris G.
Oh, we all told him.
But you know, Third Strike, dog. That's why he plays it, because he knows.
Yeah.
But and that's like the first time Chris G like did really well at a major, or like he ever went to a major. I don't even think he went to a major before.
That was his first one.
That was his first major. Oh my god, that was his first major.
Because he entered Mortal Kombat and a bunch of other games.
So there were singles and teams.
Yeah.
Okay. And so who was your team in NEC 2010?
Team Bob Ross. It was me, Adam, and Frankie.
Yeah, that team, that name was godlike.
Team Bob Ross.
It was Team Bob Ross. So the favorites were you, right? Team Bob Ross, you, Adam, and Frankie. By the way, for those of you who don't know, Adam is Ahmed's brother. Older brother, younger brother? Older, right? Older brother. And so shout outs to Adam. You may have remembered he got third at the we're gonna talk about that. No. We're gonna talk about we're gonna talk about
every
the 15th,
time we're gonna
dog.
bring it up.
We're gonna talk about 15.
Every time.
every time, dog. So it was you, Adam, and Frankie, and then the other teams. I think it was Justin, Joe, and Nika.
Yeah.
Right, and then it was me, Flair, and Diaper Bomb.
Yeah.
Right?
You guys were in grand finals against us.
Yeah, we were in grand finals, but dude, I remember that tournament. No one was beating you, dog.
Yeah, I didn't lose. I lost. Wait. Yeah, I lost to one person.
In team tournament, no one was beating you.
One person that whole weekend, and that was crazy. But I was mad because singles, I wanted to enter singles, but Lloyd and everybody's like, "Oh, we're leaving." So I said, "Okay, we're leaving," and then.
Oh yeah, that's right, because we were all leaving early, right?
Yeah, but somehow I think Frankie, Chris G, and somebody else entered.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, "Oh, we gotta wait during the tournament." I was like, "If you told me, I would have entered." So I was like, "All right."
But team tournament though.
Yeah.
Dude, that team tournament was lit.
Yeah, I was hot.
Dude, what do you remember? What are some of the things you remember from that weekend?
From the team?
Just the whole weekend in general, just from NEC, just Third Strike. Well, obviously the New York
destroying the East
Coast, right?
Yeah, I destroyed the East Coast, but then
I don't even know how that ended. It just at some point people just like
yeah, no, I finished off East Coast, and then Flair was on our team, and he went the other side.
Yeah,
and I just destroyed Flair real bad. You gotta hold that.
Shout outs to Flair.
But like team. It's crazy because Frankie is like, he was telling me the other day, like the reason why he don't want to team up with certain players
Mhm.
for co-op that he hasn't teamed up with
Mhm.
is chemistry. And chemistry was so good. That's why we won. Like nobody expected us to win. Like look at the team.
Well, I mean, I didn't.
You see,
I
nobody.
thought you
No,
guys
it's
could have won. I mean, I
no,
wasn't
no. But
sleeping on
keep
you.
like compared to like
Oh,
Justin,
like
Nika,
Lloyd,
Joe,
Frankie, and Joe. Yeah.
EXO,
Therapist.
therapist, another guy. Who was it?
I think
Um,
Shinsei.
yeah,
Was it? I think your team was Shinsei.
I think so. And then it was you, Flair,
And
Diaper.
Diaper Mom. Yeah. So
So
that's
nobody, but it was just like thinking like who should go first, who shouldn't. Like against Nika's team, I was like, Frankie, if you beat Nika, like Adam didn't play.
Mhm.
I said, if you beat Nika, I'll take out the rest.
Mhm.
And that's what happened. He beat Nika, and then I took out the rest. And then against EXO winners finals, Adam's like, let me go last. I'll get him. And he went last, and he got him.
Wow.
That was crazy. And then you guys, Adam wanted to go up. I was like, no. Let me get Flair and Muant. I know how they play.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay.
We were our team actually was able to beat Justin's team.
Yeah, you.
Dude.
Good
Like,
shit.
it's funny that you talk about that chemistry thing because when we played Justin's team, like I told Flair, dude, I was like, dude, if you beat Nika,
Same thing.
I got you, dog.
Yeah.
Just like if you could beat Lloyd,
Yeah,
I got
said the same
Justin.
thing.
Dog.
That was crazy.
Because
And
I had zero
And
confidence against Lloyd.
the way he beat Joe was crazy.
Oh, dude. Remember that perfect
That
he had?
yeah,
He had like
It
a
was
40-second perfect.
it was like 60 seconds left. Perfect. I was like, oh shit.
Dude, but I
He
told
really worked for that.
you know, and you know what's funny? Also, Diaper Bomb, that whole tournament, right? It's funny, that whole tournament, I think every game that he played went to like 3 rounds.
Oh,
But he didn't win a single game in that team tournament.
Damn.
He didn't win a single game, but all the games were close.
Alex.
You know, it's Alex, dude. It's Alex.
Yes, Alex.
And so I told Flair, I was like, dude, if you beat Nika, we're going to grand finals. We're going to
sick.
grand finals, dude.
Wait, but you guys also beat Exodus, right? Or was it
Yeah,
Justin?
we did beat X.
You beat Exodus.
But that's
Nice.
only because I think funny story. I don't know if anyone.
Oh, the
knows
therapist
story.
leaving?
But remember when
Yeah.
therapist left early
Yeah.
because he wanted
picked
to
Dudley.
because around that time for some reason therapist was like messing around with Dudley,
Therapist and EXO, because EXO was really
Yeah.
kind of young.
and then EXO was playing Dudley too.
Yeah.
And so, like, apparently they didn't really work it out. I don't know. But, like, therapist wanted to use Dudley. EXO wanted to use
Yeah.
Dudley. And then I remember I was outside with, I don't know who I was with. I was outside the venue. And then all of a sudden, I just see therapist just marching
walking
out of the door. And he's like, later, guys. Like, you're just
Wow.
with his hands in his pockets. I'm like, you're like, was that therapist? Like, why did he just leave?
Yeah, because Exodus
And
sat
the
down.
rumor is right. The rumor is that therapist wanted to use Dudley,
Yeah.
right? But then EXO sat down and picked him first.
Yeah, he sat down and picked Dudley, and that's when therapist walked straight out.
Like you would think you would work that shit out, right, with your team beforehand.
But I like the idea of Exodus, Dudley, therapist, Akuma.
Yeah, but for some reason, therapist wanted to use Dudley, right? That was weird. We'll get back to therapist too, because remember at last chance qualifier, he used Yun against you for some reason.
Yun and Ken, because
Like-
Akuma.
Well, so pick your shit. I mean,
No, I played him like
oh man.
one parry he's dead.
Yeah, that's true. So that team tournament was pretty lit. You guys got first. I think our team got second.
You got second, yeah.
And then Justin's team got third. And then I remember Chris G in singles.
Got second.
Yeah.
Flair got
I
third.
actually entered singles, but like
Oh, you was one of them.
I think I entered singles. Yeah, I did enter singles. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I did stay behind and enter singles.
He was playing Urian.
Yeah. No. I was using Necro. Chris G beat me in losers. Yeah. I
Really?
think I got like 5th or something. I don't remember. I got something like that. But yeah, a lot of you guys left, and then I stayed behind.
No, I waited.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I waited through the whole tournament.
Oh.
Chris G got second, Justin. Because Chris G tried to troll Justin, Justin out-trolled him.
And then Justin did with the re-troll.
Yeah, that
Right?
was
with
funny.
with the reverse troll.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that was a sick tournament. Man. So like you had mentioned like CF, right, back in the day.
Yeah.
Dude, and it almost feels like a lifetime ago, right?
It does.
But like, you know, I think as you get older, you just like naturally just start to reminisce more about the past and stuff. But
That is
dude,
true.
how lit was like CF, dude?
Yeah, that was.
For Third Strike, dog.
You can't change those things.
You know, I was talking to Frankie too about like the thing that I missed the most about those CF days were like the randoms, right? Like the quote unquote random.
Yeah, those random
players,
Asians.
right? Like why- they weren't just Asians. A lot,
No.
a lot of the randoms were Asians, but there were some
99%.
99%. So
Anybody that wasn't Asian became cool with us. The Asians didn't talk to us. You noticed that, right?
no, well, some people talk to us like remember that Ibuki player Kelvin?
Yeah, after like 5 years. Like
Albert was always cool.
Yeah, Albert and Kevin was the only like, and Chino was really, really cool.
Yeah, and Old Man Ryu.
Yeah, that guy was weird. He never wanted to enter.
And remember Bald Dudley, Chinese player, Chinese.
Yeah,
Bald,
and then there's another one. He's a skinny one. I still see him in Chinatown sometimes.
Oh yeah, and remember the Necro player that always had the plastic bag.
Oh yeah, every time you jump, he max.
And then he did magnetic
Yeah, every
storm.
time you jump at him, Frankie like Perry. Every time you jump, and he's just like, yeah, that guy's funny.
So, if you had to choose one player from the CF days that you wish that you could just like basically just like resurrect and then have him play now, who would it be? Like if there was one player that doesn't play anymore back in the CF days that used to play,
It would have to be
that you would want. Who would you want to see back?
Eric's.
Eric's.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Green Tea, but
No, Green Tea plays. I seen him at DTN.
that's true. You could argue that he's still around.
But Eric's.
Oh my god,
That guy was crazy.
the guy was godlike. Woo! Like his reactions were ridiculous, and his execution was flawless.
Picture of Dan seeing Eric's.
What?
Picture of Dan seeing Eric's.
Really?
Have you seen him?
No.
Like, no, if you met him.
Who, Dan?
Yeah.
I don't think Dan's seen.
No, as a picture, if you met him.
Oh yeah.
It would have been.
I was talking to Steelhammer too. We're talking about Steelhammer, by the way, Dan. I was telling Steelhammer that I kind of remember him.
Oh,
at
Eric's?
CF. No.
Oh,
Dan.
Steelhammer?
Steelhammer.
He said he's
Do you
seen.
remember there were those times where you thought you saw Damon, but it
Oh,
wasn't
so
Damon?
that was?
I think that was Steelhammer, dog.
Oh, shit.
Remember there were times, right?
Yeah, we used
where
to
you would see a tall guy, and then you thought it was
Yeah, you're
Damon,
right.
but he
You're
was a
actually
little
right.
more like stocky. Like he was a little more.
You're right. Because we used to say, yo, look at Damon, and it's not him.
It's not him,
And we
but
used
it
to
looked
just troll.
like Damon. But I think that was Dan. I think that was Steelhammer.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Well, shout outs to Damon, aka Jerry Rice. He still plays in
Texas.
Austin. He joined. He entered a few Jazzy monthlies
Fishing.
last season, so that's sick. Shout outs to Damon. Hope he has that big yellow, that bright yellow shirt still.
Big Bird.
That big. Yo, why did you always fuck with Damon? I always wondered that. Like, why? Like, why would you always fuck with him?
I don't know. It's just, he's like, oh, when you see somebody, and he does, like, he doesn't laugh like somebody's like funny in like a lot of ways. That's the way I see him.
But the funny thing is, he was so like quiet.
Yeah, he was pretty chill. Like you could say anything to him and he'll laugh.
Yeah.
He would never get offended. He'll never take it serious. He'll always. That's one thing I liked about him.
Yeah, I remember that Big Bird comment. That was when everyone in CF went to Doylestown that one time for the tournament.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Little Kevin came with us.
Yeah, little Kevin there too.
That was sick.
And then Damon, he was wearing, for some reason, he wore this
yellow?
giant yellow, big ass yellow shirt.
Yeah. That shit was funny.
Oh, then you called him Big Bird. I fucking died. I think Green
Yeah,
Tea
because
got
he has the
second.
curly hair. Remember he had the curly. Now it's like long, but before he had the curly fro. It's like Big Bird.
But yeah, I think that was Dan, the guy that we used to always think was Damon, but it wasn't Damon. Dude, were you there? Like, okay, so like the first time, like, so I moved to the East Coast for the first time like in late 2006.
Yeah.
And then I moved back. Then I moved back. And then I moved back in 2009. So when I moved back, right, like I think my first memory of hanging out with like the new gen, because like when I think of CF, right, I think there's like first gen and second gen. You know what I mean? Like first gen is like Justin, KO Fiend,
Eddie
Henry,
Lee,
all those guys, and then second gen is like you, Frankie, Adam, Lloyd, and all that stuff.
That's how it is.
So like the first thing I remember about second gen was I don't know if you were there. I don't think you were there, but it was me, Farhad, 12 Eve.
Oh yeah, I miss Farhad.
Yeah, shout outs to Farhad, wherever you are. Farhad, come back. We miss you.
I see him on IG.
We all went, like, I don't know who was. For sure it was me. Farhad was there. For sure, Tinshi was there. Maybe Adam was there. I don't remember. I think Green Tea was there for sure. We went to Vizard's house. Were you there?
Oh yeah, I went to all of them.
And remember when Farhad did the first to 5 against Tinshi?
Yeah, that shit was hype as fuck.
And then Tinshi went up 4-0.
And he came back.
And Farhad came
I was
back
there.
5 straight.
I was there. That was hype.
You
as
were
fuck.
there, right?
Yeah, I was there.
That was the first time I ever hung out with y'all for Third Strike. When
Yeah,
we
that
went
was
to
crazy.
Vizard's house, dude. Dude, that's the first time.
That shit was hype.
That was the first and only time I've ever been to Brighton Beach. I've lived in New York for 10 years. I've never stepped foot back in Brighton Beach.
Damn.
Since. But yeah, that was the first time I remember hanging out with you guys. But
That
yeah,
was
Doylestown. We would go to Doylestown. That was really cool.
Most sessions were at your place though. You got people.
Yeah. When I back when I lived in Queens. Yeah. So let's fast forward a little bit. Let's change the topic. So you had kind of, after the 15th anniversary, like you had kind of like stopped playing really.
25th. I mean, was it 25th?
Like after Fight Club, basically, you didn't even really play in a lot of the Fight Clubs.
I stopped. Yeah, I didn't go to.
Like I think, obviously you went to the one with.
I went to like 2.
Yeah, you went to the one with.
I think I went to 3.
Yeah, you went to the one when Vanal
RKF?
and RKF came. So would you say like a good 2 years you hadn't played really?
Yeah,
2-3 years. So and then obviously you heard about Jazzy from me.
That's what blew up everything.
And so like why was it just the competition? Was it just what made you want to come back?
Oh, come back. The scene was more alive because before, everybody, I wouldn't say it but all right, it was kind of corrupted at one point because you guys were focusing on co-op, and then nobody would come out. So I was like, what's the point if I come and I play D-Tech, play all those, all those, no, you know what I mean?
No, I get you.
Those, and then you're like, oh, they just stopped playing. Because D-Tech, if you beat him a couple of times, he's going to stop playing. He's going to walk away. So I say there's no point of me coming out, playing, and then they walk away, and then I got to play computer. There's no point in just playing this game anymore. So I waited until the Jazzy. Well, it was before Jazzy when you started doing random select.
Yeah.
And I started coming out. But then the
at
idea.
At iFix.
Yeah.
R.I.P. iFix. Shout out to iFix.
Yes. That is iFix.
Because the reason I asked that question is because for those of you who don't know Ahmed, and this is gonna sound like I'm blowing smoke up your ass, but I'm really not. I'm just speaking truth. I think you and I would admit that we're probably not the most technical Third Strike players.
Yeah.
Right? In terms of players that have won anything of significance.
Yeah. We're
probably at the bottom in terms of technique. We're not we're not very technical players, right? But maybe Nika, maybe Justin, but to me, I don't think there's any more. I don't think there's a fiercer competitor than you are in the history of Third Strike. You are super competitive. You have this will, right? This will to just win. You just don't want to lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously it's led you to a lot of success, but it could also be your downfall as well.
Backfire, yeah.
Tell me, where did you get that? Where did you get that competitiveness? You know what I mean? That will to win. Where'd you get that?
It started with losing to Justin.
Justin?
Yeah, because
at CF.
No, not CF. Because he rarely used to play at CF, but we went to a team tournament and it was me, Frankie, versus Justin Issei, grand finals. And then,
do you know what event this was? I think this was
Summer Jam.
Summer Jam?
Right before the NEC we won.
Okay.
So we lost. And then like after that, I realized I'm like, there's no like, how you say it? Like, when you lose, you would like push yourself to adapt
Hmm.
right away. I didn't have that. So then after that, I was like, let me watch and see what I'm doing. And I learned like to understand, whereas like a player, okay, say like Denka, for example. Last game, I knew he was gone, so I just kept on pushing, pushing, pushing. If you see, you get what I mean?
Hmm.
Like pushing him, and sometimes you have to do that. So that's what like allowed me to get better, losing to Justin and learning how to like understand when to push, when not to push,
Hmm.
when try to control the match more.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the things I wanted to ask you about because you're just so good at just like psychology, right?
Yeah, that's what
Like
I'm
you're
trying to
so
say.
good at recognizing, and it's like weird because we're playing a video game. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah,
like when you're playing basketball or you're
that's
playing
what I'm
another
saying.
sport and you see the actual person.
Yeah,
But for some reason, you're really good at sensing when someone's like
yeah, that's what.
nervous or when someone's going to be aggressive or when someone's like you're really good at sensing that.
That's yeah, that's one thing like I've learned playing like throughout the years. Like understand like even if you're new, I'll like sit and you have one chance like to beat me. If you mess up, that's it. I'm gonna understand you. You're done. That's it.
Because even till this day, right? Like when you like, I remember, when I had sometimes when like I would talk to Chris G or interview
Mm.
Chris G on stream, or I remember last time, I had a podcast with Justin. Like this is 2019, right? Like when's
Yeah,
the last time you seen like aside from DTN, right? Like when's the last time you ever played or chilled or hung out with like Justin or Chris?
Chris.
Like
Yeah, it's been
years,
like
right? But like
maybe
they
7 years.
always mention you, dog. Like when they go like, and again, like it sounds like I'm kissing your ass, but like they always mention you. They're like, yeah, yeah, in New York, there's good players like Nika, Ahmed. Like you're always in that. Like the fact that Justin always gives you props. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like what I
Thank you.
was
Shout
talking
out to
about.
Justin and Chris G.
Like they
But
always give you props. Like you might not be the most technically sound player,
yeah,
you may not be the most smooth player, but dog, you just have this like you're not beating
thank
me,
you.
dude.
Yeah,
Like you gotta
I,
kill me to beat me.
that's what I tell.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's
and
what I
I've don't,
tell
and I've
a lot of
never
players.
felt that stronger than anyone. Like maybe Nika, right? But like you and
Nika does
Nika,
have that.
right? Just so competitive, right? And
Thank
so
you.
I guess Justin was the one that kind of brought that out of you,
Yeah,
right?
he did. He.
Yeah.
It's because I don't know. I just didn't want to lose to him at that time.
Hmm. And it makes sense. You use Chun, right? So.
And I told myself, I said, next time I'm gonna get him,
Hmm.
and I got him.
Yeah. It's like, for example, like when you like I like to
You know what's
say
crazy?
I like to
If
say
you,
that I'm pretty good
if
against
you
Chun, right? Necro Chun.
if you replay the matches
Uh huh.
of Summer Jam and replay the matches of NEC, I basically knew everything he did.
Oh wow.
He did the same thing over and over. And when he did something, like when he crossed up and I tapped forward, I yelled in the back that I was like, he's gonna go forward,
Hmm.
and I parried it.
Hmm.
And Adam was like, "That's crazy." I was like, "Yeah, I already know, like, like you said, psychology thing. I already know everything that's gonna happen."
Hmm. How big of a role does like confidence play? Like, are there days where you're like, you come into the arcade and you're like, I'm gonna body everyone tonight, or are
Yeah,
there days where you're like, you're not really feeling it, but then like how big of a role does confidence play? Like, do you feel like you have to be really really confident to win? Because I feel like you play the best when you're confident. You know?
yeah, but you know, all right, CF. Let's go back to CF.
Okay.
CF. I didn't have confidence in nothing.
Hmm.
I was in high school. I
Hmm.
used to leave high school, go to arcade, lose, 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 lose. Maybe get one win if I'm lucky, and then just leave, go home. And I kept playing, playing, playing. And then throughout like a year and a half, 2 years, that's when I started getting better. And then realizing like, oh, these people are all beatable. And
Hmm.
that's what pushed me to like, I could beat this guy, I could beat this guy, I could beat this guy.
Hmm. Yeah, because shout out to Hold That. Hold That's in the chat.
Oh, shout out to
Um,
hold that.
so you're, and because you're so confident, you can get really streaky. like kind of like what happened at NEC, right? It's like you're like the Klay Thompson of third strike, dog. Like you just
When I get hot. No, that's what Frankie pointed out at DTN. He was like, I'm glad that they gave you match back to back to back to back to back. Like it was Telesniper, Therapist, Makoto Mike, and then Denka.
uh-huh.
He said if they took those breaks, you would have cooled off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He
Well,
said it's good when you was hot.
let's talk a little bit about DTM. Well, first and foremost, right? So, how did you feel about the format, like the last chance qualifier?
LCQ was perfect.
Because there were a lot of, I mean, there was some mixed opinions. Some people liked the format, some people didn't.
I was trying to understand it, like when the brackets meet,
Uh-huh.
because I wasn't sure how that's gonna work. But when you told me, like 4 people come and it's a whole new bracket, and I said, oh, okay,
Yeah, well,
that's perfect.
because my thing was, right?
That's a good
Because my
idea.
thing was, shouldn't the last chance qualifier be hard?
Yeah, it
Like,
definitely
shouldn't it
should.
be fucking hard?
Yeah,
You
I
know,
agree.
like that's a slap in the face to the people who qualified. Like if you just make that shit super easy, you know what I mean? Like
Dan doesn't count.
no, oh shit, Mr. 13th place.
He doesn't count.
But yeah, like my thinking was, dude, last chance qualifier better be hard,
Yeah, it definitely
right?
was
It better
hard. It
be
was
difficult
not
to get
easy for
to
anybody.
squeeze in.
Looking at those brackets, it was crazy.
And in terms of seating, where were you gonna be?
Yeah, you can't
Right?
you can't hide.
There was nowhere to hide. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know, probably like, to be honest, my only regret, maybe Dice K's bracket could have been a little tougher, but the only reason Dice K's bracket wasn't tougher is because I had to seed Ricky. Even though Ricky has
didn't
not,
show
even
up.
though Ricky has
Was he
no
there?
showed every third
he
strike
was
tournament. Yeah, even though Ricky has no showed every third strike tournament in the last 5 years, right? I had to seed her, right?
Yeah,
I had to because I couldn't like not seed her.
that's some crazy.
But imagine if Ricky came out.
That'd have been sick.
Ricky versus
Dice
Daisuke.
yeah.
Oh.
That'd have been a hype match.
But let's talk a little bit about your path, because obviously you were able to make it out and
my pool?
qualify. So talk a little bit about your experience in your pool.
Just Makoto's.
So you came kind of late, right? Like you,
Yeah.
Like I mean, you came on time, but like
No, I actually came early because
but you didn't really
thought,
play casuals, did you?
No, I did not touch.
Wow.
You told me my bracket was 2:30.
Yeah.
But when I got there, they said no, that's not your bracket. Your bracket is 4:30. So I said, oh shit.
my bad.
So I was like, let me sit and watch. I watched Dice Skate and then play, and I was like, that's good shit.
So what were you thinking when you were waiting?
It's like,
you didn't want to. Well, I mean, there weren't really a whole lot of casual setups, but Like,
I was trying to figure out like what to do, Makoto.
Now, question: did you look at your bracket at all?
Yeah, but I didn't know. Telesniper. I don't know who he was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who Dylan was. Dylan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know who he was. The only person I seen was Denka, and the other bracket, Therapist. Who else? Cookie.
Mm-hmm.
I think Duke.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember. Oh, and Makoto Mike, because I met Makoto Mike 2 days before at Next Level, and I was like, "Who the hell are these guys?" And then somebody was like, "Oh, Telesniper, he created 100% Chun-Li." I was like, "Thank you, I'm not using Chun-Li." And then it's funny because after Telesniper walked up to me, he was like, "Good shit. I was hoping you play Chun-Li." I was like, I was, but then when I heard about you, I said no. That saved me.
So were you worried at all about any of those people in the bracket? Like who was the guy that you were like, man, I don't know if I can beat this guy, or I don't know, or were you
like iffy?
Yeah,
was Makoto Mike?
Makoto Mike, right?
Because
Mommy, shout outs to Mommy. Mommy is sick.
Because no, let me tell you, because I never played him, and then everybody was
It
like,
don't matter
"That's
if you
Makoto
played
Mike.
him."
That's Makoto Mike. That's Makoto Mike." So I'm like, the guy has Makoto in his name. He has to be. And everybody, that's Makoto Mike. That's Makoto. I'm like, damn.
Mommy is sick.
But I think the most trouble I had was Denka.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, but he put you in losers.
He did.
Right?
He
Now,
did.
in that first game, who did you use?
Ken.
Remind me.
I used Ken in all of the
Last chance qualify. No, you
the grand finals of our first pool.
Okay.
And he beat me. But I realized what I did wrong, and then on top of that, Dan and Yuki was watching my match. So Dan texted me. He was like, Yuki pointed out that you keep dashing and you getting grabbed. I was like, I know, I realized it. So I should dash up and show you. But then, like, thinking about it, I'm like, let me just slow down. And it worked. But you know what's crazy? Shout out to Lance. This is a crazy thing. I didn't tell nobody. It was 1-1 against Denka.
In in the finals of your bracket?
Grand finals.
Oh, grand finals.
It's 1-1.
Mhm.
And he beat, alright, I beat his Makoto bad. He beat my Ken bad. I'm thinking, should I go to Chan or should I just stick to Ken? So Lance is next to me. I look at Lance and I was like, what do you think? And he said, yeah, pick Chun-Li.
Well, of course Lance is gonna say that.
And yeah, I was you know what's crazy? I was hesitating too. I was like, nah, this guy's crazy. So then I look again, I was like, you sure? He was like, yeah, you should do it. And it worked. I was like, oh,
see,
shit.
when you did that last time, when was the last time you did that?
With it was against you with Tenchi.
No. At a major tournament, when someone told when you listened to someone and you followed their advice to use a character.
When Tenchi said play Chun-Li?
No, that was in 15th. Remember?
Oh, Lloyd.
Yes.
That caused me.
Remember? Because
yeah.
the 15th anniversary, you came up against Adam.
Yeah, and Lloyd said,
he said pick Chun.
Pick your shit.
Yeah.
That was the biggest mistake.
And
that shit haunts me every day.
And it's funny because then, fast forward, right? 7 years later, Lance tells you to use Chun.
Yeah, and
you follow his advice again.
You know what's crazy? Because if I lost, I would have been like, well, you know, screw you, Lance.
Yeah, I know you.
I blame Lance. I blame
you
Lance.
Been salty on Lance.
I'd have blamed Lance for everything. But I'm glad it worked out. I told Lance, I was like, where were you when I needed Elena advice? I didn't know how to fight Elena.
Yeah.
And then Ryan, the next day, he was like, oh, you should have just used back fierce and go roundhouse. He said, I realized that you look like you didn't know how to fight Elena. I was like, yeah, that was my first time.
You know what's interesting about the switch is that it obviously forced. Well, I mean, it didn't force Dan. He could have still used SA2.
Yeah.
But it forced him to switch to Super, right?
Yeah.
Remember, he switched to Super 1 because you picked Chun.
And then,
but he had Super 2 beforehand
against Ken.
Yeah.
And then, after Lance tells me, Denka doesn't know. Was it Lance or I think Lance, Fran, or Frankie? Somebody, one of those three, was like, Denka doesn't know how to do 100% on Chun-Li. That's why he switched Super. I was like, if I knew that, I would have used Chun-Li the whole set.
Yeah. Because obviously Dan's good with either Super.
Yeah.
But obviously SA2 is
Yeah, that's.
He predominantly uses SA2, and so SA1. It's interesting because he had to switch or whatever, right? Or he didn't have to switch. But speaking of Donka, you had like every Makoto player in your.
Yeah, Denka, Telesniper, Makoto, Mike.
I think you went through all of them. You had to beat all of them.
Yeah, I had to beat all of them.
So I would say you earned your spot. The qualifier.
I did the hard way.
Dude,
I was burnt out after that.
You even the Makoto from I don't know if you played him though. The Makoto
no, he lost earlier
from Michigan.
Yeah, he lost earlier.
Right?
There was one more Makoto.
Yeah,
he lost earlier.
Yeah,
he lost to Telesniper.
Yeah. Shout outs to he's one of the PGN guys. His Makoto's no joke either. Like all the Makotos you had to play.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like at any point during the run, right? Like, did you what were you thinking? Like, just take me through your thought process as you were like kind of going through these matches. And well, actually, what? Tell me what you were thinking when you lost to Donka the first time when you were put in losing.
The first thing, all right, I thought I was done. I text because Dan texted me and I was like, yo, I think I'm done. And then because I don't know who's coming out of the other pool. And then I realized I'm like, you know what? I could still do this. Like after walking back and forth, and I was like, I could still do this. Like I've been through this a lot. Yeah,
it's funny you say that because I could tell through your body language.
Yeah,
that you were really disappointed losing to Dan that first time.
Yeah, I wasn't angry. I was
disappointed.
Very, very disappointed. I was like, damn, I lost to.
Yeah.
That's not supposed to happen. But
Like, it's one thing if
not,
you
not
just...
like disrespecting Dan, but
Oh, yeah, of course not. But, you know, it's one thing if you just dominated through the pool, right?
yeah,
But you were sent into losers. You had to face
Early,
some
yeah.
adversity, right? And, because you're such an aggressive player, and because, because you have that mentality, right? You're such a fierce competitor. Tell me other, most tournaments you've been in, right? Like, you don't really spend a lot of time in the losers bracket, right?
Yeah.
So you actually had to kind of fight
Climb
through a
up,
little
yeah.
adversity right there.
But after therapist and like first match of like Makoto Mike, that's when I realized. I said, I'm not losing this tournament. I'm not losing this pool.
This pool.
This pool is done.
Wow, that's crazy.
And I looked at Matt, and it was Matt Durlot and B-Tran, and I gave him this look, and I was like, this shit is done. This shit is... shut this shit down.
That's what I'm talking about, right? Like, no, there aren't many players that have your level of confidence, right?
Yeah, a lot of people say that.
Like, you're like LeVar Ball. You speak it into existence, dog. You're like, I'm going to win this match. You know what I mean? And then you just speak it. Like, I don't want to sound like an old Fogarty, like, I don't want to sound like one of those old timers. But
No, not true.
I don't know if you've been keeping up with stuff that's been happening in the FGC. But it's like, I mean, I understand everyone wants to be nice to each other, be inclusive and, act the right way and so forth. But, like, we're still competing, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I understand there are lines you have to draw, right? And, I would be lying if I didn't say I didn't cross them in the past, when it comes to, like, talking smack and all that stuff. But, like, we're still competing, right, dog? Like, there's still, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But, so what would you say to, like, because I think, obviously, this is important in any game, right?
Yeah.
But in Third Strike, confidence
is a big key.
It's so important.
Yeah.
Because if you hesitate, he who hesitates, right? Especially in a game like Third Strike. But if you do something, right? If you make a decision in Third Strike and you choose to do something, whatever it is,
stick to that.
Well, it's not just stick to that, but just do it. You know what I mean?
Don't hesitate to do what your mind first, like, what you want to do, just do it. Yeah. Like, don't hesitate. Like, oh, should I do it? Should I do?
Because that's when you get blown up.
That's
defensively.
That's when you get destroyed.
So have conviction. I guess that's the word I was looking for, right? If you're gonna go with an option, just do it. If it works, great. If it doesn't, But tell me how you handle that. Like.
With confidence.
No, but like, when you play somebody, right, and you try something and you were like just convinced it was gonna work, but then it doesn't. Like, what's your mind?
Oh, if it doesn't?
Yeah, like, what's your mind process when that happens? When you feel that pushback and you're like, wow, this guy didn't fall for this, or wow,
I just think the player is stupid. That's how I see it. If I do some like very high level shit, like me and Adam Frankie been talking about that for years.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to dumb yourself down against certain players. Like, you can't do smart shit because they won't fall. They never seen it. They won't fall for it. Mm-hmm. And it's annoying. It's like,
because some players, right? They're like, oh shit, that didn't work, man. I better see, like how do you how do you maintain that level of commitment or confidence in yourself?
All right, for example, Denka. When I dash up, he'll grab me. Remember I told you that? Yeah. He'll grab me. Regular grab. So I tried it against Makoto Mike. I dashed up DP, and he blocked it. So I said, damn, this guy's not as smart as Denka. And he killed me that round. But then that was going through my head. I'm like, damn. So I'll just keep pushing him, going and pushing him.
Because that's another thing too, right? Like, that's a trait that you share kind of like with Ricky Ortiz. A lot of people like to say that Ricky Ortiz is very stubborn. Like, you can't condition Ricky. Like, I feel like it's hard to condition you. You know what I mean? Like when we play, if I get you to block on wake up, like, I don't care if I lost a round. I'm like, I won. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh god, I got Ahmed to stay solid. Like, you know what I mean? But
That's
like,
funny because a story of Ricky. NEC. I can't remember. Maybe. Wait, yours was 14?
which one?
The Fight Club?
Yeah, that was 14.
So 13.
Okay.
13 or 12.
Hmm.
Ricky sends me. Winners finals. Ricky sends me to losers. Chun with Chun Li, Chun Chunmer.
Hmm.
And then Frank comes up to me right before grand finals and he's talking to Ricky. And I'm like, oh, what's going on? They're arguing. And he was like, yo, I lost to Ricky because I used Yun. Ricky said, I don't lose to Yuns. Straight up like that. And I was like, you sure about that? And he was like, yeah, I don't lose to Yuns. I was like, but Yun's supposed to beat Chun Li.
Hmm.
But that was the thing back then.
Hmm.
And then I picked Yun and destroyed Ricky.
Wow.
Destroyed
Wow.
him.
Wow. See, that was like two supremely
And I had a
confident
reset.
players.
And I looked at Fran. I said, Fran.
That's a
I said,
hilarious
Fran,
story.
you suck.
Like Ricky was just like, I don't lose to.
Straight up, I don't lose to
I don't
Yun.
lose to Yun. And then you were like,
I was like, really?
it's amazing.
I was like, but Yun beats Chun Li.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And I was like, all right. And then I believe I picked, no, I didn't pick Ken. I picked Yun straight and just
Uh-huh.
ran through it. And then he used Ken after the reset,
Uh-huh.
beat me. Then I picked Chun, beat him, and beat his Chun. And that was it.
Wow, wow.
But he did not know what to do against my Yun. He was confused.
I wonder if there's a video of that. Maybe.
Eggy has a video,
Oh,
but he
does
doesn't.
Oh.
It's in his camera,
Hmm.
and he hasn't gotten it.
Shout outs to Eggy, by the way.
Shout out to Eggy. Exo killer.
Ahmed's uncle. Exo killer.
Him and Adam beats Exo.
Yeah. So on that note, guys, we're gonna go ahead and take our first break. But before we do that, I just want to remind everyone, if you have any questions for myself or Ahmed, just post them in the chat, tweet us, let everyone know that the podcast is going on. We're gonna take about a 3 to 5 minute break, and then we'll be back with more Muant XPerience podcast with Ahmed. So don't go anywhere, guys.
Can you hear me?
Yep. All right, guys. Welcome back. We're here with more Mutant Experience podcasts. My guest tonight is Ahmed, aka El Presidente, president of Third Strike. And so, Ahmed, we talked a little bit about DTN. And
Yes.
so, I guess we'll just go ahead and wrap up that discussion. But I wanted to ask you a question. Oops. I don't know what happened here. So, when you heard that I was starting the circuit, right?
Yeah.
Like, what were your thoughts? Like, what was, like, be 100% real? Like, what did you think about it? Like, did you think it was gonna, like, did you think
Honestly,
it was gonna blow up?
like
Did
no
you think
matter
it was gonna...
if it didn't blow up or it did blow up, I was still gonna support you. You know that.
Yeah, I respect that, but I just wanted to know, like, what you thought of it, like, the idea behind it, like, honestly.
You know, like in the beginning, I was like, people are not gonna enter Jazzy.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
At first, I was
Yeah.
like, people are not gonna enter. They're just gonna
Uh-huh.
watch and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But coming like into the middle, that's when I realized this shit is huge.
Mhm.
A little before, like around ECT,
Mhm.
I was like, this is gonna be big.
Mhm. I mean, cause it's just competition, man. Like,
Yeah.
I know we clown on D-Tech, but like, he's the smartest of all of us. You know what I'm saying? What does he always say?
Yeah, it's the competition.
It's the competition. You know what I mean? And now people are looking forward to next year. And
Yeah, I can't wait.
and so let's talk a little bit about Jazzy next year. So for those of you who don't know, we're bringing Jazzy back, season 2, October 19th. Actually, the first day of season 2 will be ECT, East Coast Throwdown. Shout outs to Zach, L.I. Joe,
Shout out to L.I. Joe.
Sweet Johnny Cage, everyone who's involved with putting on ECT. They've so graciously agreed to host the first auto qualifier for Jazzy Circuit Season 2, which means if you win Third Strike singles at ECT, you get complimentary airfare to the Jazzy Circuit finale, which next year will be at Texas, Free Play Arcade, Jazzy Circuit finale.
Wait, does every auto qualifier fly out?
Yep.
Or no?
Every auto qualifier. So the 6 auto qualifiers will get flown out to the Jazzy Circuit finale in Texas. And so, by the way, guys, I know maybe you saw it during the commercial break, but you can actually sign up for the Jazzy Circuit finale right now. All you have to do is go to freeplayspringseries.com/Jazzy, and you can secure your spot today for the Jazzy Circuit finale, June 12th to 14th, 2020. I know it's a long time away, right? But that's how I felt about DTN, dude. It was like,
yeah, and
when was DTN? And it was just, now it's over. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But let's talk about Jazzy Season 2, because it's going to be definitely a shorter season. Remember that there's some rule changes. Each venue can only hold 6 ranking events a year.
So next
right?
level only have 6?
Yeah, next level will only have 6, but we also instituted something called G status. See, this is Ahmed don't care about rules, guys. He don't care about things. He just shows up and plays, dog. He doesn't do research, like nothing, right? So next year, certain venues, or next season, certain venues are gonna have what's called G status, right? And if you compete at ranking events at these venues, you get slightly more points than you would at other venues. And so obviously next level is a venue that has G status because, you know, of all the strong competition. Dawns, hopefully they'll start running monthlies. They'll have G status. Lost Ark Arcade is going to have G status. That's just one of the few venues.
I think Texas should have it.
Texas, all 3 Texas venues are going to have G status. Shout outs to Texas. So, you know, there's going to be less opportunities to gain points on the local level. But obviously, you know, there's also going to be different events in between that'll be ranking events and so forth and so on. And so, traditionally, Ahmed, you're someone who doesn't really travel very much, right?
Not anymore, yeah.
But are you considering traveling a little bit more for the Jazzy Circuit finale? Are you just going to roll into ECT? Yeah. Or are you just going to roll into ECT and auto qual? Or...
No, I don't know about ECT and NEC. Even though it's close. But the finale, I'll be there.
Yeah. You're going to try to squeeze in through the last chance again?
Yeah.
Awesome.
But I'm actually going to play more and practice more.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because we're still trying to go to co-op.
Mm-hmm. And so let's talk about co-op. So Co-op Cup actually got moved, obviously.
To May.
It's no longer in January. Cooperation Cup is now going to be in May. I believe the date is May 17th through 18th.
Yeah,
right? May 17th through 18th, which interestingly enough is just a week after Jazzy ends. And then a month after Co-op Cup will be the finale. So it's pretty sick.
So
that
people
it
are
kind
gonna
of
be hot.
Yeah, so that's something I was talking to players about, right? Like,
yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, now that Co-op Cup is in May, like all the gaijin that are gonna go over there, if they are grinding for Jazzy,
yeah,
like like how in tune are they all gonna be? There's not gonna be any rust or nothing.
It's crazy.
So let's talk about Co-op Cup.
Yes.
Because like I said, you don't travel much, but you are planning. So tell me about Co-op Cup next year. Remember, you're live. So what do you want to say about Co-op Cup next year? What do you do? What's the plans? What's going on here? Just yourself. You don't have to tell anyone else, but just yourself. What's your plans for Co-op Cup? Yeah. Like, do you want to go? Are you?
Yeah, I do want to go.
Okay.
And I was planning to go.
Okay.
But 2 players backed out
from the team that you were trying to.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have 3 players.
Okay. And so now it's kind of on the fence now. So is there any chance that you would go just regardless of whether or not?
I'm very confident with the 2 players I have on my team.
Mm-hmm.
But it's up to them to find the other 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go and say, hey, pick up this guy. Hey, pick up this guy. Mm-hmm. There was a player somebody asked me if we wanted. I said no. I'm not going to blow him up. He was one of the top 16.
Okay, so let's play a little game here, right?
Yeah.
Let's say that you could be part of any team that you wanted at Co-op Cup. Well, minus the Japanese.
Oh, make a team?
If you had to choose your team for Co-op Cup next year, who would be on that team? Just you're the guy who chooses.
But would it be like the player?
It don't matter, man. Like you're
like
the one
the player
who
and they like practiced up, or just like the player.
It doesn't
now?
matter, dude. Whatever. You're the one in charge of making up the team, dude. Who are you? Who would you team with at Co-op Cup if you had it your way? So obviously you would be on the team, right?
Yeah. But there's like a team in their prime and the team that I would.
It doesn't matter, dog.
The team that I would have loved to see.
Who would you roll with next year? Who would you roll with in May?
It would be.
If you had your way.
Me, you, Frankie, hold that, and Nika KO.
Wow. Okay. I was a little surprised by that answer.
That's the team.
Why? Why that team?
We have the chemistry. Okay.
So you think chemistry, when it comes to making a team in co-op, is more important? Well, we already talked about that, right? Yeah. But what about Yuki? What about 5-star? What about Ryan?
Yeah, but Frankie brought this up, right? I don't know if he wants me to talk about it, but it's true. It's like, he talked to us in the diner about it.
Well, chemistry. I mean, just chemistry in general. I mean, it's not blowing anybody up, but
Say you put Ryan and Nika in one team.
Uh-huh.
And it's LCQ.
Uh-huh.
Who's gonna go up?
I mean,
you're gonna have to.
I'm not the captain of the team. I'm not even on the team. So.
See, that's how you gotta think of it. Those people, their heads are like. I know Ryan's pretty cool.
So you're.
But Lloyd has confidence, and like you said, he's like me, very competitive. Uh-huh. He's gonna say, "Let me go."
So you're of the mindset that, you're of the mindset that the whole dream team approach may not necessarily work.
No.
Because those players are so confident, right?
Yeah.
That they might butt heads, which of course happens in any sport, whether it's basketball or football or baseball. When you have a lot of alphas, right, on one team. Who's willing to sacrifice or who's willing to step back and so forth and so on.
That's how you should see
it. But does that really matter in something like Third Strike, like Co-op Cup, because it's not
I
like
haven't been to co-op,
because it's
but
not like we're all playing at the same time. It's one after the other. Like I mean, I understand. Like I understand for like basketball, for example, right?
yeah,
Because you and I are big basketball fans.
that's right.
All ten people, like all 5 people are on the court. You know what I mean? So obviously, everyone is interacting with one another. But in co-op cup, it's like you go up, then you go up, then you go up. I mean,
Yeah, but
is it that important chemistry?
it is because in basketball, you can always pass it.
Uh-huh.
So you can always say, "Hey, you want to take this?
Uh-huh.
You want to take the shot?"
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I'll take the shot. They get the ball and shoot.
Okay.
Person sit on the sticks, play. That's how I see it.
Mm.
If you hesitant, say, "Oh, I don't know."
Mm.
Next person.
Okay. Because, I just, I hear arguments both ways, right? Like chemistry matters, maybe it doesn't, so forth and so on.
Because think about it. You put look at they had a good ass team. What was it? 5-star Yuki, Ryan, wasn't it?
Yeah, right.
Sherwin.
Yeah. Well, last year they made top 8 with Daisuke.
No, but they had a better team last time.
What, the year before?
Yeah, wasn't it Yuki, 5-star Ryan, Sherwin, and somebody else? I believe.
And the Necro player.
Aaron?
Aaron. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Ryan, Yuki, and 5-star.
Well, that's like the big 3, right? That's like in basketball.
Yeah, that's like 3
That's
all-stars.
the big 3.
What happened to them?
Well.
They lost the Q play, right?
Well, all I know, well, we won't mention his name. Who incidentally was streaming earlier. Did you know that?
I heard somebody.
I think he's still streaming. Actually.
Somebody posted on Discord. I thought it was a joke. I didn't even click on it.
But I don't know. Like I feel like.
I don't think there was no
like
chemistry.
after I was thinking about the chemistry issue, like that's good and well, but I was also thinking about the other flip side, right? Like, is chemistry that important? But you say it's important, so I'll roll with you there. But what if those guys asked you to be on their team?
Oh,
like what if say Ryan, Yuki, and 5-star?
You know Ryan.
Like what if they came up to you and go, Ahmed, we want you on the team?
He told me on Thursday. Ryan was like, "Oh, you're gonna co-op? I have an open spot because 5-star."
Really?
Yeah, he's at 5-star left
Okay.
to team up with the Japanese team.
I'm getting all the scoops today on the podcast. All right.
Yeah, but then I already had the team: me, Nika, Frankie, Gavin, Matt, and then 2 players backed out. Don't know what to do.
Well, I don't know.
Better get in the lab.
Like I don't know. Like
Get in the lab.
It's.
We need you.
no, but that's a great offer. You wouldn't consider joining their team?
I'll maybe in future, but I can't do it now because they've been telling me for how many years? 3 years.
But the fact that
and you know this.
But here's the thing.
And
though,
they've been
right?
telling me to team up with them, Frankie and Lloyd and you. And Matt told me, he was like, "I'll leave the spot the first year you guys went. I'll leave the spot and you take my spot and play with them." And I couldn't because he worked.
But the thing is, right? Like, if they're already offering you a spot, isn't that like the fact that players of that caliber are extending an invitation to you? Doesn't that bode well for chemistry? Like the fact that they would even want you, like.
Yeah, but I think it's like
because they wouldn't just choose someone that they had no confidence in, right?
Yeah, but Ryan, that's what I say. He's a cool person. He wouldn't be like, "Oh no, we don't want you, suck." He'd just be like, "Oh, you're going to Japan? I have an open spot." But I was talking to him again, which was like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, and his same situation. His team is like.
Well, it's so far away, right? Like,
and I talked to 5-star.
It's like 8 months away, right?
Yeah, and I was like, "I heard you left," and he was like, "Yeah, I'm trying to team up with all Japanese players, try something new." I was like, "I respect it."
No, that's interesting, right? Because for example, I'd love to go back to Co-op Cup, but one of the things that I probably one of the things that I wish I had an opportunity to do was team up with other Necro players. Because DJ Isco Rico from Texas, he always tells me stories about him hanging out with all the Japanese players in Japan and sharing tech and stuff like that. And I didn't do that, because I wanted to team with my team, but I'd love to go back and hang out with the Necro players. That'd be really cool. But that's interesting that 5-star. Well, because 5-star is like he's gone to co-op how many times already? That'd be cool to do something different. Yeah. So like,
let's see where that takes.
But you've never been to Japan, right?
Never. Everyone keeps telling me.
But you've played Japanese players.
Yeah.
You've had a little bit of experience with them.
Yeah.
Obviously, Issei for the most part, because he's he lived here quite a bit. Now Daisuke's here, and so forth and so on. What are some of the things you're looking forward to when you finally get out there? Like
to see,
like it can be anything. It doesn't even have to be Third Strike related. Just whatever.
Well, I do wanna like go out there and like shop.
Explore and stuff.
Yeah, explore, shop, and I want to see like what the hype is about.
Like it doesn't look hype to you from the stream.
No, like there's
like
there'll be like one clip, but I want to like experience it.
Yeah.
And then like I want to like be that player, like, oh shit, this what if it's true, I don't know. A lot of people saying, oh, you're not that great until you go to Japan and play them.
Well, what do you think about that?
I don't believe it.
That view, right?
I don't believe it. Because
you don't believe what? Like
you don't have to go there
to get good at the game.
Yeah.
Well, on the flip side, do you believe that going there will make you better?
Yes. Because they have more knowledge than we do. They play the game longer. They share tech. They practice tech. A lot of people here, I don't know if you remember back then, nobody used to share tech until like the streaming days. So they're like writing books and shit and like DVDs, and America's going crazy over it.
Are you going with Adam? Is Adam going with you?
No.
Adam should go.
I offered to pay his,
I think if Adam went, he might not come back.
I think so. I offered to pay his flight and team, but he doesn't.
Because if Adam goes, it's a wrap.
Yeah, it's a wrap. If I get Adam to go, would you go?
Oh,
me, you, Adam, man, Frankie.
Damn. No comment.
Off stream, right? Off stream.
Off stream.
All right, we're live.
No comment. But dude, Adam needs to come back out. I think Adam would be somebody. He would have so much fun.
I brought him to next level the other day.
And like how? And was Daisuke there?
Yeah.
And I bet he talked to Daisuke like a lot, dude. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
and the next week, Daisuke, the first thing he told me, he was like, "Yo, is Adam here?" I was like, no.
Well, because I think one of the things that I realized about the Japanese, and I guess it's just me being an idiot not realizing this, is that they really love it. They really love people who are like students of the game. You know what I mean? Like people who love to talk about the game. Like Adam is a student of the game. We should all be students of the game, right? If we're all going to be Third Strike players. But like Adam is like one of those, like he could talk about Third Strike all day.
Yeah, he's like very deep into that game.
And it seems like a lot of Japanese players respect that and they like that. So I think Adam would have a really good time. But
he watched Jazzy.
But how about you though? Well, let's talk about. I want to hear what Adam thought about Jazzy. But before that, right? How do you think you're gonna mesh? Like, how do you think you're gonna interact with the Japanese? Like, because you're so competitive, because you don't take shit from nobody. Like,
I think I'm gonna destroy them.
Yeah. Can you say that a little louder?
Destroy them.
You're gonna destroy. You heard it here first, guys. Ahmed is gonna go to Japan and destroy them. Right? Destroy who? Are there any particular players you're looking to play? Like, is there anyone specifically on your hit list, or like?
Yeah, like for years, a lot of people have been saying you gotta play MOV, you gotta play
Uh-oh.
MOV,
Okay. Well, I mean,
MOV.
hopefully he's playing. I don't know. Who
I
knows?
think out like body,
Your body MOV.
out, out body. No, no, no. MOV. Deshiken.
You body Dash
Yeah,
again?
I think I'll
Oh
out
my!
motherfucker.
This man. Yo, hold that says Cooney. Cooney. You don't play Cooney? Deshiken. They're all getting it.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Cooney. No Ryu player.
Like, is there anyone in Japan where you don't think you could beat?
See, I don't think like that.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
I don't expect
See,
nobody.
this is what I'm talking. This is why he's the president.
I don't think like that. You can't just go and say, "Oh, this guy's MOV. He's gonna beat me. This guy's KO. This guy is."
Mm-hmm. I respect that. I respect that. Because not a lot of people have that kind of attitude anymore in the FGC. Not just Dirt Strike in general, but just the FGC in general.
Yeah, some people are like, "Oh, this guy's whatever Japanese. There's KO. This is that, and that's how you lose. You lose before you even step on the stage.
Like if you don't believe.
Yeah, you won't like be as confident as like, oh, I'm gonna beat this guy.
How come people don't have that?
This guy. Why can't you just look at it? This guy's a Yang player. This guy's a Chem player. This guy's a Ryu player.
Well, why do you think some players don't have that? Like, let's keep it real. We're gonna keep it real.
They're not
right?
that competitive. That's why.
But yeah, but let's keep it real, right? Like you know, almost instantly, right? If this person's gonna give you smoke, right? Like you know instantly. You know, like how do how do you develop that? Like what if that's just not your way? Like are there other ways to win, or do you feel like to be like the best, you just have to be like, you know, like that Mamba mentality, right?
That's what you have to have. Yeah, that's how I see it.
I see. So, what are some of the things you're not looking forward to in Japan, if anything? Like, because I'm sure you've heard stories, right?
I heard some weird shit.
A lot of people, I'm sure, have told you stories
Scams
about
and other
Japan.
shit.
Like, what are some of the things that you're kind of weary about or worried about, you know, in Japan? Anything?
I'm worried if I do something stupid.
Like what?
I don't know, because I don't know how other countries like treat. Like you don't know how do they treat you over there?
Well, me?
Yeah. Are they very like?
Well, it was weird because everyone thought I was from there until I opened my mouth, and then they all looked at me weird, right?
Oh yeah, I should ask Matt because you look like one of them. That's true. I should ask Matt.
Yeah, that was basically my experience. Like everyone kind of looked at us like we were Japanese, and then after that it was like okay. So Co-op Cup obviously next May. Again, looking for a team and so forth and so on. Let's talk about pre-co-op.
Yeah.
You know, teaming up with other Chun-Li players, teaming up with other Ken players. What do you?
Matt did tell me if I wanted him to talk to, I forgot who, to put me in a Chun-Li. I was like, no, it's fine. Lance was like, team up me, EXO, and I was like, no, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
But then Matt is teaming with the Alex team, with Genki and other players. I told him I want to join the Ken team.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm going to use Chun-Li in co-op, I want to use my Ken in pre-co-op. Mm-hmm. And my Ken is going to fuck shit up.
Mm-hmm. So clearly you fear no player, Ahmed.
No.
But are there characters in the game of Third Strike that you fear? Like, are there characters that where you're like, you know, you're a little bit more like matchup wise and so forth? Because you use Chun, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Like, because you know, I want to get into like a Chun-Li player's mentality. Okay, because obviously, you know, Chun-Li's the best in the game, right? Supposedly best character in the game. You know, which in the past have you noticed, like, which characters sort of give you a lot of trouble?
With Chun-Li?
Yeah, when you play Chun-Li, like, against other characters.
It would have to be, like, a certain style of Yun.
Mm-hmm. Certain style, what do you mean? Can you explain a little bit?
Like, you see how, like, the old school Yuns, like, build meter, back off,
Very defensive, very
defensive,
turtley.
and know when to, like, how to get in without dive kicking.
Which is kind of a little, it gets predictable, right?
Yeah.
Because you know, like I explained this before in other streams. Whenever I think of Yun, I always think that there's 3 different Yuns, right?
Yeah.
Number 1, the Yun that
me and
builds
Adam were talking
meter, the Yun that has Ganesian, and the one right after Ganesian, right?
Yeah.
And so that turtley Yun, you're pretty confident against that turtley Yun, like that
No,
kind of Yun?
that's the scary Yun.
Oh, okay. The
stupid Yun that round 1 fight dive kick, you're done. You're done. Just like therapist, you're done. Just move on. But the one that are like dragging it,
that extend the round.
Yeah, that's the scary ones.
That's a really good point, Ahmed, because like when you get to a certain level, right, and you're playing a Yun player, like the really godlike players know how to defend against Ganesian or know how to minimize the damage they get from Ganesian.
Yeah.
You know? So as the Yun player, right, like if you want to kind of beat those type of players, you sort of have to have that mentality, right? Like, I got to play the long game.
Yeah.
Like, I can't expect to... Because remember, there's always that saying, right? If I get 3 Ganesians during the round, it's guaranteed win.
Yeah.
But, like, even now, right? Like, how many, like, top-level matches have you seen where it's, like, sometimes it might take, you know, more than that. You know what I mean? Like, the matches can still extend, you know, at that highest level. So it's interesting that you say that because it's like... You know, the young player that drags it out. You know, the young player that extends the game. You know, that's pretty interesting.
I even like that style of Yun. I don't like the aggressive.
And are there any other characters that you that you have trouble with? Or that you know what? Because I don't want to force you to expose your traits, right? So maybe let me rephrase the question. Are there some matchups that you just don't enjoy playing? Like there are some matchups where like, oh fuck, like I don't want to have to play. Like it has nothing to do with confidence. It's just there's you know what I mean, right? There are some matchups you enjoy,
yeah,
and there's some matchups you don't. Like what are the matchups where you don't enjoy?
It would have to be you, Necro. You.
Necro in general, just my Necro.
Yeah, you're Necro because like I played like Black and what's his name, Entashoro.
Yeah.
And Isco, but they're not like yours. Yours is like some different shit.
Okay. So anyone else other than Necro? Because Necro don't really matter, right? Nobody uses Necro. Like any other characters? Remy?
No, I'm fine with Remy.
No, Alex?
No, Alex is free.
No, Alex?
Alex is free.
No? Alex don't give you problems?
Alex is free.
Alex is free? Uh-oh. Alex is free?
Yeah.
Oh, what's up, EXO? EXO's in the chat now. How's it going, EXO? Oh, yo, hold that said. I'd love to see Ahmed do the 1st to 10 circuit you did, EXO. Ahmed versus Cooney will break the internet.
Yeah, I'll play Cooney first time. But I don't think he'll handle my Chun. Yeah. I think I'll destroy him with Chun.
Now, what matchups are you just like, you're salivating? You're like, fuck, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait to... It's got to be the Chun mirror.
Chun mirror, yeah.
You love playing Chun mirror. Every time I see...
Everyone keeps telling me, it is the Chun mirror. I love that matchup.
Why? Why do you love that matchup so much?
It's like... It's similar to the Ken, but more like you gotta worry about. Like Ken, you can eat a low forward. Chun-Li, you eat a low forward, you're done.
Okay.
But me, when I play Chun Mirror, I never worry about how much health I have.
Really?
Never.
That's an interesting strategy. Now, why is that?
Because
it doesn't matter ultimately. Is that what you're saying? Because it's one low four is one low four.
One low four, yeah. So bro, you're dead.
So then, why stress yourself out worrying about your?
Why would you be scared?
It's interesting.
So that's how I see it. I just keep going. I don't even look at that.
It's kind of like you're playing dive kick at that point, right?
Yeah.
Like first hit wins. So then why? Okay. Any other matchups aside from Chun? Like how about Chun Ken? obviously.
Shenken, I like it
Yeah.
because a lot of chem players like with stupid shit, and I just punish it with super. Like I played 5-star in casuals, destroyed him.
What?
Yeah, we played like 3 games, destroyed him.
Well, that's just casuals though.
No, it was bad. He couldn't press a button. It was bad.
This is why I love this guy. It's sick. It's sick. So, and then obviously we talked a little bit about Yun. I wanted to get your thoughts though.
Yuki's Yan is pretty good.
Yeah,
I like Yuki's Yan.
I wanted to get your thoughts though. I mean, I know we keep, obviously, we're fortunate enough to have Steel Hammer, because for the longest time we really didn't have a serious Urian player, right? So it's awesome that Steel Hammer's playing Urian now and part of your scene. But tell me a little bit about the Urian Chun matchup, because to me that's one of like those like wonky matchups to me.
It is.
Like, do you like playing it? Do you not like playing it? Or like, why? Like, what's your thoughts on that matchup?
Me, I rather play Ken.
Oh, okay.
Against Urian, but Chun-Li. All right, let's say Steel Hammer.
Okay.
His Urian is not like yours. His is way different. But
well, a lot of Urians are different, right?
Yeah, his is way different. Like I could just sit there and he'll lose. Because he'll just keep pressing buttons, or he'll jump and just jab. And then once he get on the floor, he's gonna press low forward. That's right. Like he always presses button.
But against like a really optimal Urian, right? Where like one launcher you're dead.
Oh yeah, that's scary.
Because I remember a few years ago, right?
RX.
I think RX came to America.
I had a money match with him.
Oh, did you have a money match with him?
Yeah, I had like this much. He had this much, and then I messed up something. I had him, but I messed up something, and he did won that, and that's it.
Well, before that, right? Like, tell me your experience playing RX. Like, how did it feel? Like I really wish I was able to get.
It's like you don't want to get touched by him.
Wow.
You get touched.
But did you feel that like right when you started the match, or were you just like how did that set start? Like, were you trying to feel him out, or were you?
No, because I played him in casuals.
Uh-huh.
And then everyone was like, let's do 2 out of 3 money matches.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, let me get RX. And then I was like, oh, this guy is done. But it was something. I think it was overhead or was it grab? Something like that. And then it got him to get a launch. That's it. He did some shit. He went to the other side, standing short. Another ages. I was like, oh, fuck this guy. And
so
we just laughed about it.
How did that change your approach in the next games? Or, like how did you approach that the actual set? Like, were you aggressive?
Yeah. I was aggressive. That's the time when I wasn't playing. That was in TFC. I wasn't playing the game.
And so just for like other Chun players out there, like when you play a Urian, like say you play a Urian you've never played before, right? Like what are you trying to do? Like round 1 fight. What are you trying to do? Like you come up against a Urian that you've never played before in tournament, right? 2 out of 3. Let's set the stage, right? Because context is important, right? So 2 out of 3, sit down, you play a Urian. What's one of the things you're looking for? The first thing as a Chun player.
Me, I want to see I would feel him out by. You don't want a Urian that will walk you to the corner. You want to see if you walk and he's one of those Urians that keep pressing low forward, low roundhouse, or jump roundhouse, stupid shit like that, or jump to you. That's like the bad Urians.
So you're trying to kind of see how comfortable they are in the neutral.
Yeah.
Right? How comfortable they are with movement.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because one of the things that I was thinking about when it comes to neutral in 3S, right, is that because of the parry system, you can't just throw moves out, obviously. Yeah. And so, what happens is, so I guess what you're saying is you want to see how comfortable they are with the character, like in terms of movement, like in spacing, because like it's easy to space, using buttons as a reference, right?
Yeah, you're right.
It's easy to space. It's easy to space, and that. So, like in a conventional Street Fighter game, Like, for someone that's trying to kind of get a sense of the distances of everything and the ranges, what you can punish, what you can whiff punish, so forth and so on. The de facto way is to use normals to kind of measure that. But you can't do that in Third Strike.
Yeah.
At least not as much as you
the
can in a conventional game because of parry.
parry, yeah.
So, that's a really cool advice just for any kind of matchup, right? Seeing how comfortable the character is, just kind of movement wise.
And that's the way I see it. Because if you're playing the Yuri and he just like, picture Yuri and just like, you're like, oh shit, this guy's not pressing nothing. Then you gotta worry about it.
But which is interesting because Urian has to eventually press something because he's got to build meter.
Standing medium kick is really good.
Yeah. Tell me about RX. Tell me about building meter against your when you, in the Urian matchup. Because obviously, right, Urian has to build meter because that's how he gets the party started. As a Chun player, are you concerned at all by that? Like, are you trying to prevent him from building meter, or you don't give a shit?
No,
like,
I don't care about his meter because same goes for me. If I get meter, he gets meter. I could just press low forward. How is he gonna get him? He's gonna jump. I'm a jab anti-air.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to throw random tackle, low forward super.
Yeah, because that's another thing too, right? With Yuri and Chun. With Necro Chun, it's different.
Yeah,
with Necro Chun, I'm trying to make you work the hardest you can to build meter.
I
know, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not giving away no free meter, dog.
Nah,
you know what I mean? No free meter. You gotta earn all that meter.
That's just
you know what I'm saying?
That's just stressful.
But you can't, like in the Yuri and Chun matchup, like it's kind of a wash, right? Because it's like you don't want either character to get meter, but at the same time, and that's why you have those weird. You ever notice in some weird matches, right? I think this happened a couple years ago, MOV versus RX. Like, there's a point in the match where they're just building meter together.
That was SBO,
right? Well, it happens. It happens a lot. It even happened, I think, in a couple of co-op cups ago, MOV versus RX. There's always that point, and sometimes in these Yuri and Chun matches where it's just like meter, right?
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Because that's always like a weird matchup. Like, I don't like. It's like, I don't know.
But MOV always ended up winning.
Yeah.
He did some shit on one co-op. He hit him with a super. He dashed up lightning leg into super. I'd never seen that.
So before we take our final break, I want to ask about your influences in terms of Chun, right? Like when you were learning Chun, what were some of the Chuns that you kind of tried to model yourself after, or maybe drew from, or back in the day, like MOV, Onuki?
Mine's surprising. People, Adam knows, but it's Tokido.
Tokido,
yeah. He was my favorite Chun.
Yeah, because for those of you who don't know, Tokido started out as a Urian player.
Yeah.
And then at some point, I think 2006, maybe.
Yeah, like
2005, he switched over to Chun. So what was it about Tokido's Chun that you liked so much?
He was like,
because it's not as technical as MOV.
No, he was kind of aggressive. He was like Nuki, but a little more aggressive. That's why I liked it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, shout out to Tokido.
Yeah,
maybe he'll enter a Third Strike tournament at some point. Maybe a Jazzy tournament or something.
Does he even play at co-op or no?
No, I don't think so.
Damn.
Dude, that guy is he's
Hollywood. He's Hollywood. He don't need.
I don't know if he's at that Daigo level yet. How in basketball, it always comes back to basketball, right? There's the Jordan brand, right? Like Daigo is the Jordan, right, of FGC. And then up there with him is Justin, right? Like, they don't need a sponsor anymore.
Yeah.
They are the brand. They've been immortalized, right? They have a brand now. Tokido's almost there, I think.
I think he's up there already.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and take our second and last break. But when we come back, we're gonna talk a little bit more Third Strike. We'll talk a little bit more about the future of Jazzy. And then we'll wrap things up from there. So don't go anywhere, guys. You're watching the Mutant XPerience podcast with my special guest, Ahmed, and we'll be back in a few minutes. All right, guys, welcome back. We're here with more Mutant XPerience podcast, episode 34. My special guest tonight is Ahmed, the president of 3S. And so, that reminded me I wanted to talk to you.
What is it?
Obviously, you remember Yaz, right?
Yaz, yeah.
The French Third Strike player. He's the king of 3S. You're the president. Have you played him?
Yeah, he beat me in the first of 5. But that was when I wasn't playing.
Oh, okay. Are we going to see that run back?
Yeah, I'll play him run back.
President versus the king?
That'd be sick.
Because it's so interesting, because to me, like, your Yuns are like complete opposites. You know what I mean? Like, he's super patient.
Yeah.
And you're aggressive. Like, he's more defensive, you're more offensive. It's pretty crazy. What was the set close though? Was it like 5-4?
No, I think it was like 5-2, I believe.
5-2. Well, chun. What are you gonna do? But
yeah.
Shout outs to Yaz. Shout out to the French players holding it down. Third strike.
Yeah, he's nice.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Like, aside from playing, he's a cool guy.
So speaking of that set that you lost, right? Something that I've kind of been, thinking about the last few weeks is losing, right? So let me just preface this by saying that I've lost a lot myself at third strike, not just in casuals but in tournament.
Yeah.
I definitely know what it feels to lose a lot.
But it's a character.
I don't know, baby. But like, how do you take losing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we talked a little bit about it, like, in the context of Justin and how he kind of helped motivate, like, he kind of lit the fire under you to do better and be the best, But, like, just in general, like, because I feel like a lot of newer players, one of the things they struggle with is handling losses. Just losing, whether it's online or offline, tournament, casual, whatever. And I know that every player deals with losses differently.
Yeah.
So, like, but I don't think I've ever thought of asking anybody that I've had on the podcast about, like, losing. Like, how do they take losing? And I thought you would be the perfect guest, because you're so supremely confident and because you have your super competitive drive. Like, how do you take losing? Like what is, like, okay, so, like, for example, right? Not to blow you up or nothing, but I was at Next Level on Monday.
Oh, Monday?
Remember? And Strange.
Oh yeah.
He was able to get a
Yeah, but I'd be Strange, like, stuff like that. I don't look at it because I beat him like 4 or 5 games, and then he won 1 game.
But like, just tell me, just in general, how do you take that? How do you process losing?
If it's like that, I don't mind it. But if it's like he gets up and starts talking shit, like, it's 4-1, 5-1.
Like, how about in a situation where, like, say you're playing somebody, right? Like, say, like, Steelhammer, right? Like, obviously, if you look at the lifetime record between you and Steelhammer, you're probably up a lot more games. But like, say in a situation where you play somebody a lot in casuals, and then come tournament time, they're able to defeat you.
That's bad.
To you, that's really bad. Like, you take those losses hard?
Yeah, very hard.
Yeah. Like, why? Just kind of like, can you kind of explain, like?
Because, like, you beat him every day in casuals. You mean, like, it means you're doing something right. Then when it comes to tournament, he beats you. You're like, oh shit.
I just feel like, I don't know, like, if you're noticing this, I just feel like you don't even like this topic. Like, you don't even want to talk about
this. I don't, because I'm laughing because I see where this is going.
Oh, no, I don't know where it's going. I honestly don't know where it's going. I'm just curious how you process losses. Like, how do you
But know? I don't, like, I've beaten players and they've hit the cab, beaten player. Like, Flair, he'd be like, fuck you, and he'd just walk away. He did that to me, NEC, he did that to me. And then people, like, say shit, but I don't do that. Shit. I'll walk away, and I'll just, like, I'll let that shit go through my head. Like, oh, I lost because I did this. I lost.
Because, when I think about Third Strike and, just kind of picking the game up and how difficult it can be. Like when you pick up Third Strike, unless you're like a savant or something, right? Like there's a lot of losing involved. Like and it's not even like productive. It doesn't even seem like productive losing. It's like you're just getting bodied. Like my earliest memories of Third Strike is just like me spending like $20 in the span of like an hour or something, like an hour and a half. That's how free,
but
sometimes
it don't hurt as much as when you're like very, very competitive and you start winning tournaments, you start doing good, then you're like, that's when it really hits you.
That's interesting. So the losses matter more.
Yeah, when
once
you're up there, because you don't, like, everybody knows this. You don't learn as much as winning than losing. Mm-hmm. You learn more when you lose. Mm-hmm. If you win, like, hey, I won, I did this, that. Mm-hmm. You lost everything you did wrong, everything you could have done. Mm-hmm. Like, stuff you gotta work on.
Yeah, but what would you like for players who take losing very, very harshly? Like there are some players, when they lose, their confidence just fucking just like plummets, right? Like, what advice would you give those players? Like players who, like just take losing so hard, and then they get really down on themselves, and they just
I've seen a lot of players like that, but it's just you gotta work on like your stuff and look at the mistakes, rewind the tapes, practice, work on whatever it was, execution, not knowing the matchup or reaction. Like work on your game. You're not just gonna play the game and expect, oh, I'm enter this tournament and win. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you lose, like me, like I told you when I started CF, I used to lose a lot at like CF. Like my high school money, I used to go every day, lose it, and just go home. Mm-hmm. And it paid off after a couple years, because then as in like deep you get into it, you start to realize, oh, I did this wrong, I did that. Mm-hmm. I never had the player like by me, oh hey, you should do this, or hey, you did that wrong. Nobody talked to me, nobody. And then deeper got like people hated me. They didn't. Uh-huh. So that's why.
Your reads are really godlike, because that was the next thing I wanted to bring up, and you brought it up already. So like, one of the things that I noticed, like, that's been that was discussed last week on Twitter, because I'm on Twitter now, and it's like another universe, right? But I noticed some people were talking about, like, and it's always different every day when it comes to FGC Twitter. Like, FGC Twitter is hilarious. Like, every day it's like something different, like completely different controversy or question or whatever. And I remember one day it was all about, like it was all about the quote unquote get good mentality, right? Like there's two schools of thought supposedly, which I don't subscribe to, right? Because I think that's simplifying it. But like some people argue that like there are two schools of thought. One school of thought is the old school mentality, right? Like I don't got to help you get better. You just got to get good, right? Like it's like not my responsibility to make sure you're not wasting your money or wasting your time. And then there's the other mentality where it's like, oh, you should help the people that you play, because when they get better, they'll help you, and so forth and so on. So where do you lie in that regard? Like, are you more like get good, or are you like eat shit, get good, or are you more like oh, come over here and I'll tell you what you're doing wrong? And
Dan used to ask me a lot of stuff.
Dan Steelhammer.
Yeah, and I used to tell him, just suck, or but
get
like
good.
The nicest thing I would say to you is like play more. Uh-huh. That's the nicest thing.
Yeah.
Like stuff he told me, like when he played me online, I beat him with just tattoo, and he was like, "Oh, how do I stop it?" I said, "Learn how to block." And I believe that's something I would say.
It sounds trollish, but
I can't. Yeah, I'm not like It's true, learn how to block.
Uh-huh.
But I never, like I told you, I never had that player. Oh, hey, let me take you under my wing, or hey, don't do this, or hey, do this, or never, never had it.
So do you
Not
think?
from Adam, not from Adam would play me. We'll play for hours in the house, but never. Hey, do this.
Like you would never even like. You guys are brothers too.
Yeah.
You would never even like.
I told him and Vizard years ago, teach me, and they said, oh. I said okay. In my head, my thinking like playing CF everything. I said one day I'm gonna body these guys. These people are not gonna be shit.
And so like, do you think players have a responsibility to teach the people that are just starting the game, or do you think it should be more of, or do you think it's a little bit of both?
I find it as a shortcut.
What do you mean,
Like if you say like now is like a shortcut because everybody streams, everybody.
Well, to me, right? Like, why do you even need to ask people? Like, if like I feel like it's, I don't know. Like I don't have anything against people who like it comes down to like whether the advice is solicited or unsolicited, right? Like there are some players who will give you advice if they ask for it. And then there are other players who will give you advice regardless of whether you ask for it or not.
Yeah.
And then there are some players who won't give you advice either way.
I never asked for advice. I never got help. I never. So basically, I learned on my own. And people could do that too because it's easier now. Before there was like YouTube was starting, but there's not videos like Frankie do like the feet work, or Nika breaking down stuff, or like other streamers. I'm not sure who. We didn't have that.
Yeah. So you would think that players would complain less about that sort of thing, right? Yeah. Because they have so many resources available to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously we're just talking about getting better at the game.
Yeah.
You know, like, obviously we have to acknowledge that, that there are people who are in the FGC, and their motive isn't necessarily to get good at a game, right? That they're looking for something else, some other type of fulfillment in their life, and that's totally cool. I get it, right? I understand that, but just in terms of learning the game, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just in terms of learning a game, it seems as though expecting somebody to help you get better seems less important now, right? Because they have so many more resources as opposed to back then when there was almost nothing. All we had was like, Green Tea's YouTube channel, and the suit and so forth and so on. That's another good point that you make too, Crimson Wolf. Not everyone, and my mistake for not bringing this up. I should have brought it up considering what I do for a living. But we also have to acknowledge that people learn differently, right? Like not everyone learns the same way, in terms of teaching and so forth.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. Well, speaking of learning, see, this is a good segue because I'm kind of more on your side, right? The idea of like, if you ask me for help, I might help you, but I'm not going to give you unsolicited advice. But everyone who's watched the Mutant XPerience knows that I do have one teaching tool that I have on the podcast.
What?
You know what teaching tool that is, Ahmed. Every podcast, there's one segment that I use as my contribution to the third strike seed.
Back it up.
on what to not do in the game. And that is, of course, back it up. So I know that we're coming to the end of the stream. And so it's now that time. Oh, you wanted to say something before me?
But sometimes like players will ask me, oh, does this work? Does that work? Sometimes I don't know. Because if you ask me about frame data, I don't know nothing about frame data. Like I've looked at it once. I'm like, I don't understand it.
You're more of like Eye of the Tiger,
Yeah,
it's
from the match.
Yeah.
From playing, I was like, oh, this not to do this. This will work. You learn the hard way. But some people are like, oh, hey, can you do this, that? Like, I don't know that character. I don't know the matchup. What am I supposed to say?
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Well, anyway, on that note, now has come the time for my teaching tool.
Yep.
what I like to use to teach the community what more like not to do in the game, and that's pack it up. So, pack it up. Tonight, we have a very special pack it up. This edition of Pack It Up is from the DTN Last Chance qualifiers.
Oh, Last Chance.
And so,
Sick.
for those of you who are new to the stream, every Mutant Experience podcast, we do this segment called Pack It Up. And so I scour the internet for clips of, I guess we could call them Third Strike lowlights. Things that probably people shouldn't be too proud of. And you know, you my boy, right, Ahmed, right?
Yeah. Don't tell me I was in it.
I had to talk.
No.
But it's not all you, though. But you're in it, though.
Was it against Dan?
It's against some Makoto player. I don't know, but we'll fire it up. All right.
It was against Dan. I know he's gonna do.
No, I don't think it was against Dan. But without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and watch tonight's edition of Pack It Up. So is everyone ready, guys? All right. Let's see. All right, pack it up.
Oh my god.
All right. Here we go, guys. Nominee number 1. See, I put you in the front. So, Ahmed, what were you thinking here? You did 3 dashes. And I don't think that last dash was a safe dash. Your lucky telesniper fucked that up, though.
You should have finished. I won that round.
Yeah, I know you won that. That's how competitive you are.
Psychic DP.
But, like, that's when you know you're feeling, right? When you dash at him 3 times in a row. So, shout outs to Katie Alpha.
What?
Doing something sick, and then following it up with something completely random.
Like that? Oh my god.
Nominee number 3, some more Makoto action. Start of the round. Nah. Not a good move by Tom, aka shout outs to Arlia. No meter, starts the round.
Yeah, that's feeling himself.
Good looks on Lance. Reacting to that. Nominee number 4. Speaking of Yuns that sit back and don't do anything, B-Tran tried that against KO Fiend. And unfortunately, he got blown up.
That was bad.
Oh no. KO Fiend.
KO Fiend definitely
Yo,
did
KO Fiend did godlike at
he
DTN. Oh my goodness. And then nominee number 5. I know you've seen this maybe on Twitter, but this is Dial-In.
Oh, I was right behind him.
Completely just throwing this match away.
I was behind Telesniper. This is crazy.
Oh no. Oh man. Gosh, Makoto. That's just, man. That's
yeah,
just,
I was right there.
That's just tragic. Tragic. Snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
I think that would have to be the worst one.
Was that
No. Number 3.
Number 3 was pretty funny, right?
Yeah.
The jump parry and then the...
Maybe he thought he was on the other side.
Yeah, maybe. So, sorry guys. So, let us know, guys, which one's your favorite. 1 to 5. Tweet me at MutXP or tweet Ahmed for Prez.
Yes.
And so, obviously, we've come to the end of the podcast. Thanks again for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
You know, and is there anything that you wanted to say before we get out of here?
Yeah.
All right.
Just
let's
play harder and come to Jazzy.
Thank you.
Don't ask me for advice.
Don't ask Ahmed. Don't ask the president for advice.
Just playing.
Get good.
Yeah, keep playing. Play hard.
Play hard. Keep playing.
Come to Jazzy.
So speaking of Jazzy, guys, before we get out of here, just wanted to let everyone know that Jazzy Circuit is returning for a second season. Season 2 starts October 19th at East Coast Throwdown, the site of the very first auto qualifier. And so definitely check it out. Also, you can register for the Jazzy Circuit finale. Next year, it's going to be held at Free Play Arlington. You can reserve your spot today, freeplayspringseries.com/Jazzy, June 12th to 14th. So definitely check that out. Secure your spot today. Shoutouts to Venkabot, hardest working streamer in Third Strike right now. Perhaps in the business, but he also streams a lot of other stuff. Multi-game streamer. He's streaming right now. Shoutouts to Venkabot and for all he does, not just for Third Strike, but for the circuit. Also, props to the Scrub Series guys. The guys from La Crosse, Wisconsin, they stream on Sundays. They won't be streaming this weekend. I believe they're off to a tournament. But check them out every Sunday after that. Shout outs to the Boiler Room, holding it down, Third Strike in SoCal. Hopefully we can get them involved with Jazzy. Obviously they have awesome players. You know, SoCal, the breeding ground for strong Third Strike players. Also shout outs to Arcadium. Monday Night Fightcade every Monday. He streams ST. And just a reminder, this stream is powered by TrollCoinBot. So if you want to send me some trolls this way, definitely feel free to do that. And once again, guys, check out Jazzy. Go to smash.gg/the Jazzy Circuit. For more information on how you can be part of season 2. And so you said you wanted to say something real quick before we left?
Yeah, Jazzy is like huge and it's good. That's one thing I like about it is meeting people that like you haven't met in like a long time or like only online.
Yeah.
Like Sherwin I never met, Yuki, like only from online, and even Ryan, but I never played him online. But getting to like meet people or like people that know you and you get to like, that's like a good feeling.
And maybe that's all the scene needed, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, think about it, right? Maybe the reason the scene was getting so toxic is because no one had a reason to come out, you know? But if we have a reason for all of us to come out every year, you know?
Yeah, it was nice meeting you too, Telesniper.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I see a lot of people.
And I'm getting that same feedback. It wasn't just you. Yeah, G-Type, like other players, you know, a lot of them are saying the favorite part about it. Oh, Big Bad Wolf?
No, not him.
No Hugo player?
Unagi, something like that.
Onagai. Shout outs to Rick, Michigan, the guys from Michigan. Shout outs to Michigan Masters too.
Him, all those guys are cool. Sherwin, Yuki, especially Yuki.
Yeah.
He shared some tech. Ryan.
You know, I'd love to take credit for that, but obviously a lot of it started at TFC. Just, you know, people got a taste of what it's like, right? For everyone to come out.
I think this is bigger, right?
You know, well, we'll see. We'll see next season. We'll see next season. So, all right, guys. Thanks again for joining us tonight on the Mutant XPerience podcast. I'm not really sure how regular these podcasts are going to be. So the schedule may not be as regular as the other previous seasons, but I'll definitely keep doing this. I got some guests lined up that, you know, might be of interest to you guys. So stay tuned. Follow me on Twitter at MutantXP. You can see it on the screen. But more importantly, support Jazzy. Check out smash.gg/the Jazzy Circuit. We definitely want you to be a part of the Third Strike scene. Doesn't matter who you are. Definitely check it out if you love Third Strike. And so, on behalf of Ahmed, this is Mutant XP, and I'll catch you guys later on the next podcast.
Later, guys.